Yesterday, I was involved in a sting operation. Let me tell you all about it. Okay, so here's how this went down. Last 72 hours. I show up in Philadelphia. A guy, Instagram account, HD Edits. His name is Wee, and he wants to meet up. He's like, dude, been watching your channel, right? So I'm like, hey, meet me at my new unicorn house, and I'll show you around, and I'll show you this other building we're working on. He's a professional photographer, kind of cool, right? So that day he meets me, I show him around, he heads off and goes and does a gig, and later on that day, somebody breaks into his house and steals like $5,000 plus of like photo equipment, like the Sony a7 III, a really big awesome spotlight thing, and like an expensive lens and all this stuff, right? So the next day we meet up and he's like, yeah, hey, I'd love to help you out with this new building you've got, and I'd like to learn about how you do all these properties at once. So I'm like, yeah, meet me at this new building in the Northern Liberties, and he offered to shoot some photos. He took some boss photos, by the way. Let me block this phone number, sorry. Okay, so he took some killer photos, and I'll show you them some now. So we've got a few listings up in Northern Liberties right now, new ones. And so while he's doing this photo shoot with me, he just happenstance says, you know what, man, somebody broke into my house yesterday. Did I tell you that? I'm like, no. I'm like, what's up? And he explains some dude like stole all the stuff. He's like, so I started checking like Craigslist and OfferUp and Let Go. He's like, dude, and I found this guy, right? And he wanted to show me because he's like, I'm trying to buy the stuff from him and get him caught. So he goes to show me, he's like, oh shit, I've been blocked. The guy blocked me, caught me being the guy who's the victim. So I'm like, hey man, give me that link. Like, I'm gonna make a Let Go account, I'm gonna buy this stuff from him. So he's got a detective on the case and he wants to sting this dude. And the detective tells me, give me an hour notice so I can get some cops there. So I hit the guy up, I'm like, hey man, what's good? And he's like, yeah, it's available. I'm like, I live in Northern Liberties, like, if you're free later today or tomorrow, whenever, like no big deal. He's like, yeah, tomorrow at 6. So tomorrow at 6 was yesterday. So I'm having lunch with a couple of guys on my team who are helping me set up these properties, and it hits like 4 o'clock, right? So I messaged the guy, I'm like, hey, do you want to meet at the Starbucks, ? He's like, yeah, let's meet in 30 minutes. I'm like, oh, 30 minutes? Like the plan was 6. And the detective said, give me an hour notice. Like, So I hit the detective up. I'm like, hey, you message. He doesn't answer. I call him, no answer. I'm like, no. I'm like, I've got to meet this dude. I've got to meet this guy like in 20 minutes. And so we call 911 and ask for a police escort. They're like, what's wrong jurisdiction? Or get in touch with the detective, and nobody's picking this thing up. So I pretty much decide I'm going to go and buy the gear. And so that way the photographer who got stolen from, worst case scenario, I buy the gear, $5,000 worth of gear for $600, and then I get the gear, and then essentially he pays me back the $600 later, right? So we stop at the Starbucks on North 2nd Street to meet this guy yesterday at like 5 p.m.-ish. I grab a coffee at Starbucks. The guy, shows up. He's like, you're not a cop, are you? I'm like, no, I'm not a cop. He's like, let me see your ID. Let me know you're not a cop. I'm like, bro, I'm not even from Philadelphia. I show him my Wisconsin ID. He's like, okay, cool. So we walk to his car. He shows me the gear. I'm like, yep, score. I give him the $600. As I'm digging through the bag, next thing you know, cops are like everywhere. That's from both sides. Apparently, the guy that's on my team flagged down a cop as this was going down and said, hey man, we were trying to get some cops over here for this sting operation, and this guy's trying to sell stolen gear right now to my dude in the blue suit. So the cops swarmed the dude, and it was just the most awesome thing in the world. The guy kicked over my coffee because I set the coffee down to look through the bag. So the guy who was selling me the gear kicked my coffee. He was not happy about what happened. So we got Hui's stuff back. Hui's actually about to meet me here. We're about to do another video where I take photos of the space, and then he takes photos of the space, and we go to battle and see whose photos look better at the end. Because obviously, marketing in Airbnb is all online, and photos are everything. And of course, your storytelling, how you write your copyright. So totally cool. You'll meet Hui soon. Just super excited that we kind of got involved in some crazy, law stuff. And more to come. Philadelphia, stay strong, fight crime. All right, I'll see you guys on the other side.